Hey there, fellow Factorians. Onerous here with another episode of Let's Learn Bobs and Angels. In fact, the final episode, yes. We are sitting here with our rocket silo, not quite ready to go. We've got 91 rocket parts already completed, and all we're waiting on is the final 9. The thing that's slowing us down is rocket fuel. Our rocket fuel setup is definitely the slowest, but it was also basically the first one we did. So I thought it'd be ready by now, but it's not. As you can see here, we've just got the one production for rocket fuel capsules, and that's really what's holding it all up. If I jump into the production graph and pop it on a 10-minute timer, I've already selected it, but you can see here our rocket fuel, we're doing about 7 a minute. We need 90 more, so that's about 10 minutes. So we'll be able to fill in 10 minutes because this episode, being the last, I thought would run through what I learnt on the very first time I played Bobs and Angels. First rocket launch coming up, and going through it, there's definitely a few things I did that probably didn't need to be done. A few things I wished I'd done a lot earlier. And yeah, we might as well begin with probably the biggest one in my mind is that I just built too big. We've got a number of outposts around here producing a whole lot of stuff and stuff that we're just not using. So like titanium ore, where's our actual output? Here we go. We've got 26k, and that's because that's limited. Things like even copper ore and iron ore over here. Look, we've just gone way too big with these outposts for just a single rocket launch. Now that's just kind of how I build things. I actually quite like segmenting out the base into these outposts because it makes everything really obvious where problems are. But look, if you just want to launch a rocket, there's really no point at all in building such a massive conglomeration of outposts. I think it's fair to say you can just look at these ore patches that are the original ore patches that we were mining. They've still got like so much ore in them. In fact, this little saffrite ore patch that we've been mining for pretty much the whole game, it's still got 3 million in there. So you can just see from the usage of base ores that our usage of the higher level ores was nowhere near the volume that we're producing. Yeah, and the same goes for everything. Like this circuits, I had originally planned on doing outposts for like the red circuits and the blue circuits and the purple circuits, but after this yellow circuit kind of action, yeah, it's just crazy to the amount you actually need of these for our science, for our actual production over here is so small compared to what we did in this playthrough that it just added a whole lot of complexity that really wasn't required. But I've got to say, it was awesome fun doing it, so I don't regret it. What I do regret is having these kind of areas that still have a inconsistency in tiling. While I'm talking about that, yeah, you may have noticed our little setup here is slightly different. I beautified our rocket launch area. You know what? I think we can beautify it even more by doing that and getting a nice little shape out of our section. Is that right? Let's run it across. Yeah, that's right. I think there's a bit of a carryover edge on the end of the tile. And yeah, I've got this little bank around the side, which I quite like, and that was because there was, if you remember, there was a tiny little island here, and that really annoyed me because everything else was so clean. So we tidied that up by building a nice little remote outpost for our roboports around the edges. Anyway, let's have a quick check. Yeah, look at that. We're kicking along. We got 3%, three more rocket parts, 2 more of those. So yeah, built too big. That was probably the biggest thing, and a few people pointed that out along the way. And yeah, I totally agree. Bagless was one of them. He also raised a very interesting point. This solar field, which we've had running for, we actually built it quite early on. quite early on, and we haven't upgraded it since. If all of this base was actually operating at full capacity, we'd probably run into power problems pretty quickly. But we never saw any power problems because so much of the base is just sitting idle 99% of the time, which, it works. So the next thing that I think is important to point out is sorting versus the single ores. We converted over to single ores sort of midway through, and it's definitely, if you're building in mass, I think en masse, I think that's an important thing to do. Going over to single ore sorting, and it certainly gets rid of a few of the byproducts. But they are byproducts that you actually do use, and as you can see over here, our kind of material byproducts, the slag and the crushed stone sections, are pretty much dead. There's no incoming. We're relying on this production of slag that is basically this whole thing here. Its job is to produce slag, which is a byproduct that you don't want until you get to a point where you want to make the mineral catalysts. And yeah, here we have 153,000 mineral catalysts. I probably should have capped that off at some point. So yeah, that's another thing that that we went a little bit large on. So going over to the single ore sorting, we do have a bunch of ores created, but they're all full, and we've maxed out the requirements for them all. Whereas if we'd just kept this kind of setup, we probably could have used up all the different materials. Like here we go, this aluminium. We've got this aluminium ore. We've got 200,000 aluminium ore that we produced, and yet that's gold ore. Sorry. Yeah, I think that one's aluminium ore. Or is that one gold? I don't know. Yeah, that's gold. So we've got like we've got 120k gold, and this one is aluminium. Yeah, so we've got 200k aluminium that we never actually touched because we built a aluminium ore single sorter, which is nice. It's fantastic, but we definitely would have gotten through with the ores that were here. The problems we ran into in the middle was we were backing up on these ores, and once that happens, as you can see, the whole system dies. But we could have changed this system with the ore sorting. So there's 6 ores out here, and this is easily big enough to actually have 6 lanes coming out. And we could have fixed it around that. And I think if you're just trying to launch a rocket, sticking with ore sorting is actually probably the way to go. Yeah, it just removes that complexity. If you're not going around creating all these outposts too, you can actually progress through it a bit quicker. So there's less time for it all to back up, because if you're getting to the next level of tech a little bit sooner, then you're ready for the usage of those higher level materials. All right. So we've covered off on, we went too big, too many outposts. Covered off on the sorting. The next one I've got written down here is, biotech. Modules. Man, I would have loved to play with modules. I've heard so much about the Bob's modules. There's the God tier modules. Let's have a look at the tech. Module. Module. So, speed module 5, 6, 7, 8. Speed module 8. What does it provide us? 160% speed. That's pretty crazy. And what have we got? Raw speed modules. Raw speed module from a speed circuit board. Yeah, so these increase speed without any increase in pollution. Yeah. All right. So yes, if you watch the 200 subscriber episode, I actually had the rockets all surrounded by beacons with like, I think there was like 6 modules in them. So the higher level beacons even hold more modules. It doesn't say, but yes, these hold more modules than just a regular beacon. I think it was 6. Don't hold me to that. We didn't really explore it, but if you get 6 speed modules in, yeah, you get like 1,000, almost 1,000%, was 840% speed boost, and yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then if you have multiple, well, it's half of that for one beacon, but then you have multiple beacons. I think it was something ridiculous like plus 13,000%. If I recall correctly, it was some astronomical number, and the crafting speed of a silo was so ridiculously fast. I could barely keep up with the materials in it. And look at that, we're up to 97. The stats don't lie. The 10 minutes was it. Yes, so if you actually want to go down the path of biotech, you definitely want to get into the puffers and everything early, because we had a huge issue getting the biotech up and running, because we had to run around, we had to collect everything, and then it's just a really slow process. I'm looking at the wrong spot, aren't I? It's over here, yeah. So each of these crafting was like 60-second craft time, just way too slow to kind of rely on late game. So you want to get this going early. There was also a point, not sure if I pointed out at the time, but I was pulling out puffers and pulling out desert gardens and not getting any of these seeds. And the reason for that, I realized later, was that I didn't have the tech level researched. So I had to have the advanced farming research to actually get the plants out of the gardens when I deconstructed them. So that there was also a trap. You want to research into that as quickly as possible. Obviously, that initial push to actually get the biotech, which I think we're doing here, yeah. Getting those first I think 30 biotech capsules, alien life samples, I think they're called now. Getting those first ones and getting the research started to enable the long-term production of the biotech was kind of important. And doing that early, getting into this puffer, meat, fish, and of course biters into the crystals, doing that as early as possible, I think, would definitely save you a lot of grief later on, especially if you want to go down to modules. We should be really close to the rocket, shouldn't we? What are we at? We're at 98. So we're almost there. We're almost there. There's 99, just 10 more, so sort of a minute and a half. The clock is ticking. I do want to, yeah, we'll launch ourselves into space, because I think that's always cool. And if I remember how to do it, man, it's been so long since I launched a rocket. Well, apart from the 200 rockets we launched the other day. So the final thing that I learned was the cargo bots. This was an eye opener. And thanks to Bagalus again for really hounding me on this one. I probably wouldn't have bothered trying it if it wasn't for him, because I tried the original cargo bots and they just seemed really slow. And look, they were really slow. Let's have a look at some base speeds. We can bring it up in here. I don't think it shows us here. Yeah. Yes, of course it doesn't show us here. But so our construction robot 2 has a speed of what's that? 50 something. Our cargo robot 2 has a speed of 20 something. It's slightly less than half, and that's with all the bonuses. Assuming a same sort of relationship between cargo robots 1 and construction robots 1, which I'm not sure if there is, but we could look it up. But who's got the time for that? Oh, we do not have the time for that, because listen to that sound. We will jump back onto the cargo robots after this, but we are about to air quote finish Bobs and Angels, and of course we'll talk about that more later as well. But here we are. Our rocket is ready. We're going to drop in the old car, and we're going to launch it. In we go. So yeah, if you're not aware, if this is the first time you're seeing that, if you put a car in the rocket's inventory, you can actually jump into the rocket per se. You climb into the car that's in the rocket, and then we can launch it. And here we go, people. This is the culmination of 111 episodes of hard-fought Bobs and Angels. It's probably going to be pretty loud. I haven't actually got the sound settings right. Here we go. Away we go. We're escaping the planet. And victory will shortly be ours. There we go. All right. 105 hours. Look at that. Kills doesn't matter because we played in peaceful mode. But 105 hours. We launched a rocket. Man, I am stoked. Obviously you can't see me now, but I got like goosebumps on my arms. That's it's such a good feeling. So 111 episodes, 105 hours. Obviously each episode was about half an hour, so I did do a lot of stuff off camera, and there were sections in the middle where I was doing like, I probably did like off camera in between 1 or 2 episodes, do like an hour of this outpost work, just trying to bring it up to speed. But yeah, 100 hours, man, I'm pretty happy with that. We could have done it much quicker, but we were in no rush. So that's it. We've finished. Yay, hooray. And let's just quickly jump back to cargo bots. So yeah, the cargo bot speed is really, really slow, but they carry a full stack. And that, when you've got the production for it, is just saves so much traveling around with the bots. It's also actually really power efficient and ridiculously power efficient. If you're struggling with power with recharging of logistics bots, cargo bots cut that in half. So instead of a logistics bot carrying like 2, 3, 5 kind of items, depending on the upgrades, you've got bots carrying 200 items in one hit, and you're saving like 40 bot trips. So yeah, they're just really good, and I should have been using them on outposts. I still like belts. Belts are predictable. They're free. You can do ratio calculations with belts. So yeah, but moving stuff from like train stations to the outposts, actual production units, that's a great use of cargo bots. So that brings me. That's the 4 things, the big 4 things that I thought I'd point out. 1, I built too big. You don't need to do this. This is overkill. Definitely want to have smaller kind of setups. And speaking of which, like, you have a look at it. This was our steel for the whole game. Like, it's pretty small, and we never ran out. So yeah, all of this stuff could have been shrunk in. Other things like this whole setup here actually does nothing. So yeah, it's crazy. This whole natural gas setup, we set it up only for plastic, and then in the end, plastic actually got made from oil. And where is our plastic setup? Man, I can't even remember. It's been so long since we did it. If we can find plastic. Maybe I didn't mark it. Oh gosh, I'm sure someone's yelling at me in the comments going, why? It's right in front of you. Was this it? No, that's... Oh yeah, well, there's another outpost that we did not need. Anyway, wherever our plastic is, it was done off oil rather than natural gas. So yeah, we just... oh, here it is here, yeah. And oh no, well, sorry, even differently, this plastic outpost actually ended up being off algae. So yeah, we didn't even need that raw gas whatsoever. All we had here is a fuel train. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. While I'm here, look, yeah, someone's going to say something about the water. We did use the cheaty pumps a lot. Getting water is never really an issue. No matter where you are on the map, you can always pump water. And obviously, the longer it is, the less water you get. So there is some argument that you then need to make pumps, and it's a constraint on your resources. But honestly, it's tedium. It's just hassle. It doesn't make for good viewing for anyone. And honestly, I don't think it really adds anything to the game. So I'm quite happy using those cheaty pumps. I'll still call them cheaty pumps. And I admit freely that they are very cheaty. Didn't go to the point of using them for lithia water, which was one of their recipes, but I did use them for purified water as well. But but purified water again, we've got a lot of setups with air filters making purified water somewhere. Oh, condensing towers, that's it. Yeah, condensing towers turning steam into purified water. Yeah, purified water is, again, easy to make. So it's just cutting down complexities with that. So, yeah, that's the 4 things. Built too big. Could have left with sorting rather than going to single ores. Spent a lot of time making those outposts. Should have got started on the biotech much earlier and embrace the cargo bots as soon as possible. There we have it. That is the end of our run, and look, we better do that as well, just to neaten up this final little bit. And yeah, with that, we're gonna call it to a close. So 111 episodes, launched a rocket, very happy, had a great time doing it. Hope you all enjoyed the series. I'll talk about what we're going to do next, but first, a quick, yes, you knew it was coming, a quick plug. If you love the series and you're not subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. It does help me as a creator. The YouTube algorithms, magical algorithms, do take into account the number of subscribers you have in serving it to other people, and so yeah, it helps. The other thing is, if you want to actually support me monetarily, you can do so via PayPal, just a one-off donation, Ko-fi.com. You can buy me a coffee. You can do donations there. And then there's Patreon. So with Patreon, I've got a few different levels, as little as $1 a month. If you sign up for the $5 a month, you can jump on the Discord with voice, and we can chat in real time together. So that's pretty cool, I think. There are some higher levels that if you're just loaded with money and want to help me, that would be amazing. But yeah, look, no pressure. You don't have to do it. Just as a quick sort of comparison, if I ever got monetized with YouTube, so 1,000 views of a channel, it equates to something like $8. So yes, that's 0.8 cents a view. If you obviously support me on one of the other channels, like even little as $1 a month, yeah, that's the same as 125 views. So yeah, it does actually work out well. I only put out a video a week, so that's 30 views. So normally in a month, 30 views is going to be what, $2.40? No, not $2, 24 cents. There you go. Whereas if you support me for $1 a month, which doesn't sound like much, it actually works out better than YouTube ad revenue, which is abysmal. But I'm not here for the money either, so don't get me wrong. I'm not going to stop doing this if you don't support me, but I would really appreciate it. Now for what's coming up next. Next series I want to do is LTN. I see a lot of people asking questions about LTN on Reddit. Trains in general obviously have a lot of questions, but yeah, LTN seems to be the big mod that I've never touched, but that takes out a lot of the complexity. So issues where we've set up my normal go-to here, which is having a bunch of depots and then just filling these trains up and then they wait here. This needs a lot of trains, and it needs a lot of these depot stops. We're actually almost filled this out, and if we needed to do more, we would have had to do some weird arrangements up here. Anyway, with LTN, we can get by that by having a train. They're unassigned, and then they just go and they pick up stuff as needed and drop it off as needed. So that's going to be the next series. We're going to play around with LTN. Otherwise, it's going to be fairly vanilla. I'm thinking about rampant mod, just for that little bit of extra oomph in the biters. We did do a Death World last series, so it'd be interesting to get back into that. It's been a while since we've had biters attacking us, and rampant mod certainly does that. I honestly haven't checked whether it's updated to 0.18 yet, so that's something we'll have to look at as well. But yeah, that's my plan. LTN, maybe rampant, and we'll go through, we'll build something, maybe a mega base. I don't know. We'll see how far we get. It gets to a point where once we've learned LTN, the rest of it is just the more mundane features of Factorio, which is why I'm thinking of rampant, where A, we get some more weapons and stuff to play around with, and B, obviously, there is a lot more pressure from the biters. In other news, we're looking at doing some streams. Yes, that's right. I am going live. Not sure when yet, but the brand new internet is getting installed on Thursday. The internet guy is due between the hours of 1 and 5, very specific, and that should give me enough upload to quite easily stream, which is what I've been lacking and why I've been very hesitant to do it in the past. But yeah, look forward to that. I'll be posting times in advance on the Discord channel as the next thing. Yeah, you can join the Discord channel. Don't have to be a Patreon member to join the Discord channel. Patreon members get access to some other channels within the Discord channel, but we've got the general channel and the Factorio channel in that in the Discord that you can jump on. You can ask questions. Mention onerous, and I'll get back to you if I can. Did have someone jump on today. The first person jumped on today, but I wasn't around, of course. Avion, if you're watching this, I'm sorry I missed you. But yeah, if you're there and you don't hear anything from me, feel free to mention me, and I'll pop up on my phone and I'll get back to you if I can. So other than that, look, that's it. That's the end. We are done and dusted. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this because I think it's pretty cool. Let's turn that off. Let's screenshot this. Print screen. No, that's the wrong button. I'm in Steam. Let's do F12. All right, that's it. Screenshot saved. We made it. Thank you everyone for watching it. It's been a blast, and your comments below have helped me numerous times. I mean, I've mentioned Bagels a few times this episode. Cognito was another one. URH111 recently with this little guy. Oh boy, was that nice. And yeah, so many other people along the way have left comments, and it's been great learning for me, and hopefully for other people watching the series, you've seen the comments of other people that have helped along the way, because hey, it's my first time Bobs and Angels and I'm just here to learn. So thank you all for helping me do that, and you know what it means. Yes, leave your comments down below and see you tomorrow.